What's going on, Niner fam? It is Peter Lucas. This is the Niner Fanatic Podcast. I got with me today, your boy and mine, twin. We're gonna talk. I mean, season's over. It's free agency season, draft season, whatever you want to call it. There are a whole bunch of Aiyuk season, like whatever you want to call it, whatever it is today. But we're gonna talk about all of it. Before we gotta do that though, we gotta hit the music.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I like to know.
are you ready for start time?
And once again, it is Peter Lucas. This is the Niner Fanatic Podcast. And make sure you give the video a like. Make sure you give it a subscribe. Make sure that you hit the bell so you get the notifications for when we go live. And once again, I got with me your friend and mine, Mr. Twin, the Bearded Bros Podcast. You know what it is. Twin, how you feeling? And why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on the socials? Oh, you muted.
Hey, hold on. Let me not mute myself, man. What's cracking? How y'all doing, man? It's your boy Twin on this wonderful Tuesday. Look, hey, Twin Tuesday, baby, TNT. What's up, man? What's up to everybody out there in the digital world, man? It's your boy Twin. Y'all see it right there. You can follow me at Twin Empire. Just add a underscore to it. You'll see my YouTube channel. You will see my beard first and foremost. Then you'll see this face. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Press that notification bell, man, and like some of this content that I be putting out there, and do the same as well for my boy Peter at Niner Fanatic Podcast. And you also can find me under the same handle. And this is not for Dez Bryant, but this is for the Elon Musk app, aka Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow
I still call it Twitter.
Make sure you follow your boy, on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? And feel free to do so. What's cracking, my guy, man? How you doing? How you feeling, man? Tell me how you living.
It's just another day in the life. My daughter's birthday was over the week. Well, it was today actually. But we celebrated it over the weekend.
To you.
Yeah, she turned 11 today.
Ooh.
I'm just another year, another foot in the grave for your boy. Yeah, these kids just growing up too fast. But it was a good weekend. It was a good weekend.
At least
How
your
was
baby
yours?
My weekend. It was all a blur. I can't remember right now. So I think it was all right. Today's Tuesday, so my ADHD has taken over, and I'm just trying to remember what happened today. But I'm assuming it was well, man. I just relaxed. I didn't do a lot. I don't believe. I know Saturday I just chilled at the house, man. And just did nothing, since football season is over with. We used to stay busy during that time period, but I just sat back, kicked back, watched a lot of TV, and took the opportunity to do nothing. Because we had snow here where I live at. We had snow, so.
Oh, you had snow? Okay.
Yeah, man, I had about 3.5, 4 inches of snow, so I wasn't trying to move around a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm not, I don't know how y'all deal with that. Like, we get snow once every 3 years, like a little small sheet on the ground, and Texans lose their minds. We shut down everything. So, but yeah, it was a pretty good weekend, and but over the weekend, all over Twitter, all over the socials, all over everywhere, all people were talking about was Brandon Aiyuk, and is he going to be with the 49ers next year, or is he not? And at least he didn't rub the 49ers off his IG. I saw that happen to, who was that? Justin Fields? Justin Fields rubbed the Bears off of his IG, and you know how people get when that happens. Like they just start losing their mind. Debo did that. Uh, what was that? A couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and people just lost it. They thought it was over. He was asking for a trade, and that was a wrap. But it seems to me like Brandon Ayuk tweeted something out I think it was yesterday, talking about that his agent had called him early, and he was freaking out, thinking that he had gotten traded, and that he was ready to go kick down some doors, like he was going to be mad about it. So in my mind, I took that as he wants to be here. He wants to be with the
Just
49ers. He just wants them to pay him, as any player would. I think that he does enjoy the culture. I think he does enjoy where he's at. I think he does enjoy his teammates. It's all about, can the 49ers afford to pay him now and in the future? How do you feel about the Ayuk situation? And do you think they'll be able to fit him in like they have in the past with all their other big name free agents?
well, so first and foremost, I wouldn't mind BA standing here. I was one of those guys a couple years ago say, hey, I don't again, I know we have some sensitive individuals when we talk about a 49er fan, but it's a business. And I was telling people about Debo and you know, I'm gonna stop being so humble, man. Cause when I try to be humble, you know what I mean, they still talk about you. So God dog it, I'm gonna have to talk my ish a little bit. I told y'all, listen here, if you go trade anybody, trade Debo.
Yeah.
Same time, Debo has been successful because of Jimmy Garoppolo and what it is that this offense can do within his limitations. You saw an all-pro year because his routes were perfect for Jimmy Garoppolo. We went on and paid him. I said, now y'all know you will never get the same production out of Debo Samuels again because the guy who we had is no longer at the helm. Things will change. You know what I mean? There's another guy by the name of what? Brandon Aiyuk who will begin to take over. You will see yards per what? Catch expand.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're here today. Guy who led the league or was the top 10 in yards per catch is 1,300 yards, several touchdowns. The guy who we paid $28 million, a couple hundred yards receiving, a couple hundred yards rushing. For the amount that he got paid, we would look at it just as a business and get your feelings and sit your feelings to the side because no matter how much power and strength and so on and so forth that Debo brings to the table, which is a wonderful thing, we still set our butt at home because we tried to give him the ball and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it was like, bro, and we look at the business for a long term and having a quarterback that we thought that we should have, as far as they can produce on all three levels of the field, you need somebody like a Brandon Aiyuk who can do all three levels, and you can find somebody like Christian McCaffrey who took on the short yardage situations that began to be that short yard, scat back, you know what I mean? And so now Debo Samuel services is not as great as it once was, as far as how dynamic he can be. Not saying that he doesn't have moments, but as far as how much you pay him, So, man, I think BA should have a deal. I truly believe BA is upset that we didn't necessarily feature him like we should have. And so I think his incentives in his contract would be, hey, guys, I played the number 4, number 5 role for the last couple of years with very minimum opportunity. Given some type of, bigger piece of the pie, I believe I can do even more. So if you promise me opportunity to showcase my talent during the best of my years, like far as physically, I want to come back here. You know what I mean? And so hopefully Kyle would do what he needs to do, far as somebody might have to go, guys. Somebody who we may have gave a deal 4 or 5 years ago. This is what happens when you don't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? I know y'all say, "Oh, next year we can win." This is what happened. Some of your favorite guys who got that deal.
Yeah, they gotta go. Eventually, it happens to everybody.
It happens to everybody, man. So hey, that's the nature of the beast.
And when especially with a team like the 49ers who have developed so many good players, like and let's I want to get away from just calling all of them good players. They are all scheme fits for sure. and we don't know what some of these guys would look like on other teams. And
Yeah.
but as far as in the 49ers system, they're all good players. And for them to be as strong in the system as they are, it's really rare to build this many guys the way that the 49ers have built through the draft. And but Debo specifically, you said it. I mean, I am I, I think that the way I'm kind of surprised when I looked at I kind of trusted in Parag that he would put the terms in there for this deal to where it would be kind of easy after the second year with Debo, like that it would be kind of easy to get out of his deal. It really isn't. It really isn't. They're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
pay even if they trade him. Even if
Gotta
they
pay the
trade him
piper,
this year,
man.
next year, they're gonna be having like 24, almost 25 million in dead cap. Like so it's it almost doesn't make sense to trade him this year or next year, to be honest. And so you almost have to make a decision on Brandon Ayuk, I think it was an error on their part. But I think that when you have a guy that produced as much as Debo did that year, I don't think that they planned on moving really off Jimmy Garoppolo. I thought that they felt like that they could kind of, even when Trey Lance got in there, I feel like they thought that they were going to still have Debo do his thing. And you saw it this season. They're still trying to force Debo down the team's throat, and it wasn't working. And they still just did it anyway, over and over and over again, running the wide back stuff. The wide back stuff is done. It's
Yeah.
done.
And,
Like, I
and,
mean, yeah,
and not to cut you off, but and again, this is what we mean. This is what my boy Pete's talking about. 2021, 121 targets, 77 receptions, played 16 games, 1,400 yards, 18.2 per carry per catch,
mhm,
16 touchdowns, 83 long. For you know what I'm saying. Last year, after his deal, now this is I'm just saying, people. It's not me trying to be a hater. I'm just
yeah,
telling y'all. Last year, 56 receptions
hmm
on 94 targets, 632 yards, 11 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns. That's
yeah,
last year. 2 touchdowns. This is after I'm giving you 20. Now I'm giving you 20 something million dollars, not last year, but this year. I'm coming into this year after even though a bad year last year, right?
yeah,
Then this year, 89 targets, 60 receptions, 892 yards, 14 yards per average, 7 touchdowns. That's it. You know what I mean? So you can
hmm
combine both of the last year and the year before last, and you pretty much maybe get yards per wise, his production in 2021.
yeah,
And then, his receptions aren't necessarily a top 10, top 15, top 20,
yeah,
top 25, number one wide receiver option type of receptions. And so then people say, well, his rushing yards. Okay, he had 225 yards this year, 232 yards last year, and he had over 365 yards and 8 touchdowns the year that he got that big deal.
yeah,
So again, I know that people say he brings more than just yards and stats and so on and so forth. But if we look at the end results, that's not producing a ring. You know what I mean? Like that is what we thought giving him the ball this year, featuring him in the Super Bowl. We will see his production come, during that time. And guess
yeah,
what? We ain't see it. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
And I mean the reality is this, that they stopped using Debo. Like, if you remember on in his rookie year, he was running routes. They were using him like a wide receiver. And even the year that he was a wide back, they were still using him as a receiver.
Uh-huh.
And at some point after that, they stopped using him like a receiver. And now all they use him for is screens, end arounds, and the wide back stuff.
And a deep
Like
cross in a crosser every now and again.
every now and then, but for the most part, it's slants
Yep.
close to the line of scrimmage, or crossers. It's just at a certain point, and I don't know if his route running has regressed per se, but I think we've all seen it, and we've all been, and multiple guys have called it out all year long. So this is not a new thing. His effort, his effort level is not as much, we shall say. His blocking is sometimes lacking. Not sometimes, it's a lot of the time. Like, let's just be real with it. And then on top of it, his effort level, if he knows he's not getting the ball, his routes are lazy at best. Even when he's getting the ball, they're lazy. Uh, I mean, even in the Super Bowl, he was supposed to get the ball. The ball was just a little bit. It was a little bit low, and it was going to be a tough catch. He didn't
Hey,
even go
slide.
after it. Yeah, he
How
didn't even
many?
go
How
after it.
many? How many wide receivers like a Terry Holt, Marvin Harrison, Hines Ward? I'm
Yeah,
going back in the gap. You know what I mean? We've seen guys slide on the, and they do these here. You know what I mean? They go from a standing position. They read the trajectory of the ball. Oh, the ball is low. I cannot stay up high at this position. I must bend down like I'm on Call of Duty. I must push in that right analog stick button. You know what I'm saying? I got, you know what I'm saying? I got to get down a low position and catch the ball. You know what I mean? Like, that's when, even if you see, let me help my what out. Let me help my quarterback out. Meaning I got to get low and try to catch the ball as well. So, like, it's those things that people are bringing to the attention of fans and to Debo. Is like, bro, it's not that we don't hate you or nothing like
yeah,
that.
no.
But if we're going to give you that type of money, I'm going to need you. It's like the Cam Newton situation. Everybody got mad at Cam and dive on the ball. Hey, if y'all keep that same energy for Cam when y'all want, got dog at Debo, get down on your knees, man, and try to get that doggone ball, man. You need it, because every yard count, and we need those type of attempts, man, coming from our number one guy.
But I think it's also a lack of creativity with Kyle. And because we all call him, everybody calls him the offensive genius, but he fails to get Debo the ball in different ways, and the defense already knows he's going to get it. When they do certain things, he's gonna, when he gets in the backfield, he's running it. I mean, there's very rarely does it ever happen where he gets in that backfield and it's not a run to Debo. Like, so I feel like Kyle, he needs to treat him like a receiver and kind of divvy up those, and maybe give Aiyuk some of those looks. Because Aiyuk, God forbid, Aiyuk gets stuck running the same routes every every single game, and he doesn't get the same opportunity. He's got to get, when he gets the opportunities when all else fails. Well, that's actually Jennings, but Aiyuk is like the third, maybe fourth option, and it's just when Aiyuk and CMC definitely aren't working. Now all of a sudden we're gonna go to Aiyuk or Jennings on third and long, and I just think that it's. But to Ayuk's credit, I mean, 75 catches, 1,300 yards. Like, I mean, to have that kind of production off of 75 catches is a little ridiculous, and I think it warrants more touches. Like, than a guy that, like you brought up his numbers earlier, just isn't giving you the same amount of production. At the very least, you need to spread the wealth around to Aiyuk and those other weapons so that you can alleviate some of the pressure off of Debo, maybe. And that's I don't know, that's how I kind of feel about it. I think Debo is a hell of a player, and can be. He is capable of being a hell of a player. He obviously is a great yak guy. He like I said, they've got to get some of the pressure off of him because the whole team knows he's getting the ball at certain times. And
And
yeah.
And to piggyback off, if you go back to 2020 when Brandon Aiyuk was actually featured in that office and Debo, George Kittle got hurt, we
Mm-hmm.
saw some of these wide receiver runs and gadget plays for Brandon Aiyuk as well.
Yep.
And so my thing is, hey, where did that go? If you had somebody like Brandon Aiyuk who did return punts, for the 49ers, it's like, hey, use him as a decoy. Give him the ball once or twice, just so the
Just a
opposing
couple of
team
times.
have to know. They know that he's a what? That he's a threat. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
if people have started to catch on and he's not breaking those runs like he once has, hey, okay, well, let me try to, I'm gonna slip this one. Here you go, Aiyuk. You know what I mean? And so then next time, oh, I may double up to Aiyuk. You know what I mean? And now you got the team second guessing because now they're like, oh, Cal has expanded this look. I can't automatically assume it's going to be Deebo Samuel, or I can double it up if I need to. You know what I mean? Let it run it back around. I toss that joker back off to George Kittle or something like that. Like, it's when we begin to realize that I'm a 49er fan. If I can look at certain plays and be like, here we go.
Yeah.
And I kind of can figure out what it is, and I don't get paid nothing, you know what I'm saying, to watch these teams. I'm quite sure the opposing team who get paid millions of dollars and have ample amount of information and data points where they can say, hey, TV guy or film guy, give me all the cut-ups of A, B, C, and D. And they're looking at it and they understand, like, okay, this is the cut-up. This is what Kyle Shanahan has been running for Deebo Samuels. I haven't seen a reversal for Brandon Aiyuk since 2020. You know what I'm saying? When Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, Mullins was in, and Deebo Samuel was hurt with a fractured foot. You know what I mean? So it's just like, hey, we have to keep that creativity in there, especially when you have multiple skilled players like Deebo, Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle. And this is when I say bring in Jordan Mason and Eli Mitchell, because now you are expanding your whole offense and using all of these pieces where I can fake like I'm doing a fake sweep to who? To Christian. Oh, here you go. Jordan Mason lining him up in the I-back formation. You know what I mean? So, like, I know he's in that fullback formation, but he can still catch that ball and get the juking and stuff like that. Like, these themes are ways to show that, you know, Kyle is continuously being creative. And I see your boy Don't Bother Me just said team scheming to stop BA shows you how much respect they have for him as a threat. And even though they trying to stop him, Don't Bother Me, go check out Steve Smith. He has a podcast. He was like, bro, I watched that game, and he was like, BA was out there, and he had more opportunities where he was open than he was covered, and that he was cooking whoever it was that was defending him as well.
Yeah, for sure. But he's not going to get credit for that too often in the social media and in the media in general. Like, we sit there and say and look at a guy's box score numbers and say, oh, well, he didn't do nothing this game. He didn't do nothing. Okay, well, BA can't throw the ball to himself. Kittle can't throw the ball to himself. Like, I mean, they've got to scheme up plays for them, or at the very least, Purdy's got to see that it's open, like, and get him the ball. And I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat, because everybody's been cool coming in. Xander, Don't Bother Me, appreciate you coming through. Rod, always my boy, like, appreciate you coming through. Terror Dome, always a pleasure. And DP, thanks for coming through, my guy. Like, but yeah, it just comes down to just what you just said. Like, you've got, and what we talked about earlier, they've got so many weapons. There's no reason to force feed anybody. Nobody should be getting force fed. Not even CMC. It should just be like, you've got, because even at the running back spot, like you said, you got Elijah Mitchell, who every time he's touching the ball now, he's getting 5-6 yards. Jordan Mason, we know, averages for a career like over 5 yards a carry. Like, get these guys involved. If for no other reason, then it takes some of the pressure off of your other guys. And yes, Kyle's answer for everything is, well, I'm going to give it to the best guy. I'm going to give it to the hot hand. Okay, well, how did those other guys get hot if you're not going to give them the ball? Like, I mean, like, I'm sitting over here trying to blow into my hand just to get him hot, because you're not giving me the ball. Like,
hey,
it's
man.
so it
T.O. and Jerry Rice said it best.
Yeah.
T.O. and Jerry Rice say, hey, give me the ball early. Let me touch it. Let me feel involved. You know what I'm saying? And we gave him the ball a couple times, but then we can't go 4 possessions and then he don't see the ball at all. You know what I mean? And then we're not running, and then we're not passing it to nobody but Christian McCaffrey. So it's either Christian McCaffrey passing, Christian McCaffrey running. And so now it's like everybody just sit at the LOS and just say, hey, let's just hover around here, because either going to CMC running or CMC passing. and he can be tackled quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But so real quick about IU. Do you think IU comes back with the team, or do you think they end up having to trade him?
I think he should come back. I do believe there's other pieces who are older and
Yeah.
and less valuable that can go bye bye. I'm at that stage now where we keep playing this carousel over and over and over again and coming up empty. So let's try something different. Unfortunately, guys, y'all didn't take care of business, and you might have to get off the train a little bit early before they actually win the Super Bowl. So thank you for all that you've done, but some of these OGs got to get up out of here, man, and let's get some new blood and some new speed. So keep them and find your cut loose ends in other places.
Yeah. And I feel like IU's gonna be back. Like I feel like they're gonna find some way. They always do, and somehow they end up with more cap space, and they end up signing more guys. Like so, I think that Ayuk is gonna end up being back. Um, do you think it is possible that they clear space by trading somebody else? And who do you think?
What up, Rod? Say it again. And hey, I know his community efforts are brilliant. He's
Yeah,
a stand-up guy. He's amazing.
yeah,
We definitely need him in the running game, but his availability has been shaky over the last several years.
hmm.
And if I can't depend on you with plantar fasciitis, bad
It don't go
meniscus,
away.
lower, and you a big guy, you 6'7",
Yeah,
7,
it's
six
never
eight,
going away.
285 pound guy, man, and you getting older in age, hey, I might have to let you go and find somebody else, you know what I mean, to start replacing you, So yeah. Hey, Eric Armstead. There's some more guys who's long in the tooth, you know what I mean, that you might have to say salute, and I'm talking about who else leaving, you know?
Yeah,
There's some more folks that gotta go.
I mean, the thing about it is that when I'm looking at the 49ers free agents and who they have under
Uh-oh.
contract, like so where is it? Team spending.
Uh-oh. Let's see
Like
what's up. Let's see this sheet of paper, huh?
shoot, I can't even
While he's
bring.
doing that, what's up, Tanisha? What it do? Beep bop. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Steve O, Rod, man. Big up to Terra. Don't bother me. Everybody in the chat, man. What's cracking, man? How y'all doing? Hope y'all wonderful
Oh,
on this
here,
Taco Tuesday. You know what I mean? Hope y'all having a wonderful
Austin is
time,
this.
man. Enjoying the off season like we are, even though we still talking about this lovely sport that we love,
Hmm.
man. My boy Rod said George Kittle can go if we're not using him in the playoffs. Hey, all I saw Rod, and again, you get called out for saying this. I say, hey, I'm still picking Kelsey because I know he will be used. And I know everybody say, well, George Kittle is a better all-around tight end. But at the end of the day, last time I checked, receiving tight ends over the last 15 to 20 years has been used exceptionally, far as Gronkowski, you know what I mean, and the things that he has done. And
There it
so,
is.
and Kelsey. So unless our tight end is being used like that, like Rod said, man, we are diminishing what he could do and contribute. Got dogged for the San Francisco 49ers. 2 Super Bowls, less than 5 targets, man, or less than 5 catches for somebody who has been a perennial Pro Bowler. Hey, that would never happen to a Jerry Rice. That's all I'm gonna say.
No. Well,
No,
Jerry was the. I mean, you could force feed Jerry all day. There wasn't anything anybody could do about it.
that won't happen to Gronkowski in 2 Super Bowls. I tell you that much.
That's true. Like
Tony Gonzalez, if he made a multiple Super Bowls, it won't go happen. Y'all remember Mark Shamira, Brent Jones,
Mark
Jay
Chimera.
Novacek, you know what I'm saying? Ben
Yeah.
Coates. I'm
Let's not
getting it
talk
out,
about
man.
Chimera.
We
I think
old
he's like
school.
a pedophile or something. No.
Okay, well, I ain't mean it that way. But I'm just saying, like, Super Bowl tight ends who was featured often and early, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
these are the guys who open up the middle of that field. They have speed in the seam routes and things of that nature that we got to sometimes feed these guys to help. It's amazing how everybody used to say this and y'all talk to me in the chat if I'm lying. They used to say, "What is a rookie or a young quarterback favorite weapon? What is it? Somebody help me in the chat." They used to tell everybody to help a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback, you give them a what?
You
A
give them a
tight
tight end.
end, a release valve, somebody that you could trust. So we know that everybody's going to what? Pinpoint and look at CMC. So we know that everybody's going to look at CMC because of the amount of touches that he has gotten, and he's a perennial. I mean, he's like the offensive player of the year. Go to the second one then. George Kittle. He can give you that same Deebo Samuels effect when he catch the ball, stiff arm a person or two, and once he do the first down, he hit him with that right here. That gets the crowd crunk and excited too as well. Like, we cannot sit here and have a target like that and just not be in use. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, it's like having a pack of condoms and you married. It's like, bro, I don't need these things. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna be used. You know what I'm saying? It's useless. You know what I mean? Spend all that money on this, it ain't gonna be used. That's what we did to got doggone George Kittle. Spend all that money, we ain't gonna use it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Now,
Excuse
there
my
is
analogy,
some
but
pretty big cap hits, and regardless of if they let them go or not. Like, honestly, the big guys probably not going nowhere. Like, I would say they're I'm looking for what's his name, for Eric
facts,
Armstead, the guy we
DP.
just.
We gotta get younger.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, you're not going to give up 20 mil, and like they're not going to take a dead cap hit of 25, 30 mil on some of these guys. Oh, Eric Armstead is a 26 million dead cap hit if we got rid of Eric Armstead.
But see, that's ridiculous when you look at that contract, bro. Ain't no way in
They
age
kept kicking that can down the road, and
and
eventually you
that's
got
what
to pay
happened
it.
with the George Kittle. And people say restructure. And again, Pete, when you restructure contracts and you don't win the Super Bowl
Yeah,
during that window, that people
yep,
say, shh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
yeah. Kittle
This is
is the
what happened.
18 mil
Hey,
dead cap hit.
what
Trent
is
Williams
the
30 mil. Debo is 26 mil.
yeah, like
Fred Warner 25 mil. Javon Hargrave 33 mil. Woo, man. Nick
and
Bosa.
so
I don't even want to
again,
talk about Nick Bosa.
yeah, well,
Like,
I mean, we know we're not letting Nick or Hargrave
I
go,
mean,
but older guys like Eric Armstead, his contract happened in 2021, 2020, something like that. You would think you would be able to get off on him, but you can't. And
yeah.
my boy Terry Dome just said it, man. He said, hey, because of the O-line deficiency, Kittle has to be used as a third tackle a great deal.
Yep.
We did not invest big time in the right tackle. Again, some people say this and we get in trouble for it, but it's like you cannot keep putting bubble gum where you need to use a band-aid on it. We keep
Yeah.
using George Kittle as a substitute, and we missing again. I believe Jesse, shout out to Jesse out there. He gave us a list of third round draft picks over the last 4 years that don't even see the field,
Yeah, that haven't done anything. And
haven't done anything.
we all knew that they were mistakes at the time is what's funny. Like
We all
TDP we knew was a mistake. Trey Sermon we knew was a mistake. Like, I mean, there's a whole bunch. Danny Gray was a deep threat like that got picked too early. There's so many that we could point to. And we've been the fan base has been calling for offensive linemen for years, but yet and still you pulling dudes from Texas, San Antonio, and the Nick Zakells and all these different guys that nobody knew who they were. Nobody knew who they were, and the experts, the people that the experts are telling you that these guys are decent players, and then they get on other teams, and then they end up being decent players. It looks even worse. It looks even worse.
Pull up your boy Terry Doge. Comment.
Where is he?
Oh, I'll tell it then. No.
Wait.
He said, look, Pterodon said,
Oh,
Cameron Latu
yeah. Oh,
can't
yeah.
catch.
Don't even get me started on Latu. And
Look,
then,
he said, there you go right there. Y'all read it for yourself.
yeah. Nope. Yeah. Can't. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's real though. We said that was a mistake. We were like, who is Cameron Latu?
Who? And then,
And
hey, watch this.
and we
Hey,
took a kicker
no.
in the third round.
Wait. Y'all remember when we drafted Cameron Latu? They had a camera in his house. Shout out to all my Polynesians out there, all the ooses, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
But
sure.
you saw him on camera, but he had a cousin in the same picture he was getting drafted. I said, hold on, bro. Y'all don't want to draft, y'all ain't getting him?
That huge dude.
I'm looking, I'm like, why we ain't drafting that dude? That dude look like he's 6'5", 270 pounds. Why we getting this little fella? Hey, that dude was over there cockstrong, man, looking like Kevin Nash from WWF out here, boy. I said, good Lord have mercy. We need him.
Yeah, like a Bebop. I would say Chris Forrester is the only one doing anything with the scraps that he's given. He's not given anything to work with. But Trent Williams, he's saying, okay, here you go. You got Trent Williams. We're gonna transform Aaron Banks' body, and and here you go. And then we're gonna give you David Brent, a journeyman in Brendel, and he turned him into a Pro Bowler, like a Pro Bowl alternate, whatever you want to call it. But regardless, like he turned him into a decent player. Yeah, Forrester is not the problem. The problem is that we need talent. We need talent. Eventually, it's great to have culture guys. It's great to have guys that fit in your locker room. It is also great to have talented guys that fit into your culture. You cannot tell me that there is no talented guys out there that can fit into this culture. They don't always have to come in the 5th, 6th round. Your McGlinchey, are you telling me that McGlinchey was that much of a culture fit? We picked him in the 1st round. He trashed in pass protection. One of the best run blockers, like in the league. But that doesn't help when Purdy's stepping back to doing a 5-step drop. It just doesn't help. So I just feel like we had an opportunity the last 3 seasons to fortify this offensive line. The fans have been clamoring for you to fix the offensive line for years now. And we just refuse. We just ignore it. We just keep bringing in 4th, 5th, 6th undrafted guys and just expect it to be, hey, the scheme will fix everything. If he just gets the ball out on time, then it won't be a big deal. Okay, well, we saw in the Super Bowl, you don't like that wasn't his fault. Like, are you going to tell me that he wasn't on time? He couldn't even turn his head around.
Man, boy, I tell you, listen, it was some bad stuff to see on film where we, like, again, the Super Bowl is where we all thinking this is the best of the best. This is when you got to be buttoned up. But when you got like Chris Jones lined up on the edge and he comes in scot-free, like nobody touches him. His jersey is clean, unabated. On 3rd down, this is crucial. This is crucial. This is not the 1st down, the 2nd down. This is in the red zone. You need it. This is like crunch time. I need everybody to be alert. I need everybody on their P's and Q's. And it's like every time we needed a big play, Chris Jones seemed to have the weakest or the less talented individual guarding him, as if Steve Spagnuolo wasn't going to do it. And we was like ill prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we look at last year. I saw multiple people say, why early in the game, in the Philadelphia game, we got a tight end out here who don't even block for real, going against a top 10 rusher and what's my man, Rashawn Reddick. And then next thing you know, that cost us a quarterback. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's those situations where we got to be real and honest. Like, hey, Kyle, hey, John Lynch, my guys, we need to invest in our trench. And again, this is the issue of a trading list. You trade away all these picks and stuff like that. This is the issue. This is the things that we got to deal with: a lack of defensive line depth, a lack of offensive line depth, a lack of linebacker depth. Like, this is the issues that we have to deal with, because now we very top heavy. I said this ever since the beginning of the year. We look like Pamela Anderson in 1996. We are top heavy. You know what I'm saying? But back in 1996, guys, they wasn't getting BBLs. They weren't going down there getting that Kim Kardashian package. They weren't going down there getting that rump. They weren't going there getting that booty. You know what I'm saying? It was all about the breast assist. So now we're here in 2024. Guess what? You got to have something down there in the backside too. You got to have the top and you got to have the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, you can look at our beautiful Caucasian women nowadays. Now they got top and bottom. So even they evolving and adjusting. So God dog it, Kyle, I'm going to need you to evolve and adjust too as well, my guy.
And I plead the fifth because I'm a happily married man.
And hey, he still got eyes too, God
dog. Oh, man. Like, he trying to get me killed on.
I can't lie to kick it, man. Hey, I gotta be honest with y'all fellas, man. Somebody here tell me if I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? If I'm lying, I'm flying, baby.
Yeah.
Look, hey, I know if the beautiful missus go by a beautiful house, she gonna look at it, right? She can say, yeah. Oh my God, I might not want it, but hey, Pete, that is a beautiful 4-story house. I like all the new angles on it. And you like, it's good to look at, but you ain't gonna go buy it, right?
No, hey, I'm not looking. I'm not looking. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I hear you.
I'm trying to keep a happy home. So okay. So I think we've established. I think Aiyuk is gonna stay. And
for sure.
And I don't really feel like they can move off of any veterans that are really. I mean, they could get rid of Juice. That'll save them $5 million. But I mean, is that enough? I don't know. What's probably going to happen is they're going to restructure again and kick the can down the road again. And and it's going to end up being even crazier next year, and we're going to have to end up cleaning the house. Eventually, the rent comes due, and it's but I have a feeling that they're going to restructure again. Restructure a couple other guys. They could save a bunch of money restructuring. What's his name? Mooney. Yeah, Mooney Ward. They could save a few mil doing that. So I expect that to happen.
That's the last contract you need to be restructuring because he's one of the younger guys. All the older guys, there's ones that you've done already restructured once before. And now we sitting back here looking like, wait a minute, unless we pull off a trade or something like that, man, hey, we're going to have to do something in that nature. But at the end of the day, we have paid a lot of people good money, like you said, and Parag has maneuvered and finagled this contract similar to how Donald Trump did his taxes. Like, dude, he was out here moving and grooving certain situations, but now again, the time has come home. The chicken came home to roost, and so this is why it's so important to win when you have all of this talent on your team, man. This is why you can't keep taking these shots over and over again with this collection of talent. Like, bro, we got to be honest. Back-to-back years with more than 4 people on the offensive side with all pros, man, you got to come with something afterwards. You got to have something, to show for it, which is a trophy, because it gets tight, man. And some real decisions have to be made. And it's time. Some of your favorites got you're gonna have to let go somebody. Somebody gonna have to be let go.
Honestly, that's my biggest indictment on Kyle. To me, that's my biggest indictment on Kyle because he got more. We always said he would get more out of less when he first got here. Like we got to the Super Bowl, there was nothing. The cupboard wasn't full on offense. Like he was doing a lot with less back then. But now, I mean, he's got weapons everywhere. And I think a lot of us fans assumed that with more weapons, comes a more diverse offense and more and like an unstoppable. Like they should be unstoppable, and that's not the case. It is not the case. Yes, they put up yards. Yes, they put up numbers. Yes, they put up points during the regular season. But when they go up against those really good teams, that's when your good players are supposed to show up and show out. And I don't think Kyle gives those guys a chance to show up and show out all the time. And it's
And
yeah.
I'm sorry, keep going. I don't
Yeah,
mean to
no,
cut you. Go ahead.
it's just I just feel like Kyle almost he almost looks at it like it's good enough. It was good enough what I was doing before. I'm just gonna put different guys in those same plays instead of scheming up something different. Now I have this. Now I have these added pieces, and now I can do this and this and this. He's not. He's keeping everything similar, but just better players in it, and that doesn't always necessarily mean success.
For sure, for sure. And this is what we talked about. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but this is how my brain be working, right? I know in football you can win and you can lose some football games, right? I've seen the Philadelphia Eagles, which wasn't a really good team, scored 30, 35 plus points, you know what I'm saying, and win and 30 some plus points and lose. My thing is, it's so crazy how consistent we've been where we scored 17, 17, and 17. Every one of our losses, we lost when we score under 24 points. Every last one of our losses. It's not like we scored into the 40s or into the 30s and still lost. It's when our offense was just bad and then scored league average. Like, I ain't saying our Purdy 30. I'm saying when we didn't even score our league average, we lost. With all of these weapons on the side of our team, it's like, bro, we have to capitalize. If we're going to take away from other positions to keep these guys, as far as skill position players, paid and in the game, we need to capitalize and go out there and do something innovative that's unstoppable against, well, I can say unstoppable, but it has to be a little more difficult to stop than the 17 points that we're scoring against these teams. Again, the AFC North, I believe it is, shut us down. Cincinnati couldn't score. And before anybody started saying the defense gave up 30-some points, I think it was a 16-10 game going to the fourth quarter. So before the game kind of got blew out of hand, it was still a close game. Score some points when you got an opportunity. Cleveland, another team, couldn't score. Ravens, another team, we couldn't score. It's like when we play against top teams with talent around them, we had these issues in these situations. And as fans, we have to be honest next year. When somebody tell y'all, got dog it, don't just be looking at the times when we blow out these sorry teams as if this is the commonality of what we do as the 49ers. Start looking at the teams that pretty good. And I ain't talking about the Cowgirls either. Because we know psychologically the Cowgirls are already defeated against us because of the mental state that we got to hold on them. So I ain't worried about the Cowgirls. I'm talking about them other teams that we got to see in the Super Bowl that we need to go out there and say, you know what? Despite whatever it is, I'm Kyle Shanahan. I'm a guru. And I'm going to put up 30 on all y'all heads, god dog, and you ain't going to stop me.
I can't argue with you. Like and this is the thing. It's like my guy David McNiner says. The one way that they've got to keep. They're probably going to end up having to try and keep these guys together for at least one more season. And it is what it. I think after this season, I think it does end up getting blown up. Come hell or high water, if they win, lose, whatever. I think that it's going. We're going to lose a few of these guys, like the whatever way it has to happen. Now, with that being said, I want to talk about so what are we've identified that the offensive line is a major issue, right? Like in protecting Purdy, we all feel like we need to protect Purdy better, and that the right side of the line has to give us something in the run game. They just have to give us something. Now, do you think that it's better like to go through it through free agency? We just got finished talking about their cap situation, and or do they need to draft somebody and then Trey Shanahan needs to figure out a way to trust some rookies, to let them go in there, and just some more talented guys go in there and let them have some bumps and bruises in the beginning, but eventually as the season goes on they get better. How do you
Both
feel
of
they
them.
need to take care of that?
Both of them. Know how that gift is when that man said both of them. We need to do both. God dog it, find somebody free agent, and then could continue to draft people, man. Again, we need depth. We have to start preparing for Trent Williams' replacement. We have to start preparing for somebody who can sit there either challenge McKivitz. We need to prepare somebody to take over Brindell's spot, and then also we need to prepare for just to have depth on that offensive line. So I believe we got to do both. We have to start rebuilding the defensive line and also the offensive line.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, guys, I'm old school. The Super Bowl is when the Super Bowl can be won in the trenches. You know what I mean? You got to have the hog mogs in the middle to go out there and play a physical brand of football. And if somebody else gets hurt, you got to have somebody can come in there that you can trust, who can come in there and do exactly or at least on par to what somebody else was doing. And so, hey, free agent list, find somebody to bring on over here for a cup of coffee, sit them down. And also in the draft, man, let's get some people. We need some bodies, man. We need to build depth. We need to start building up our middle class.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the guys that are unrestricted free agents this year, like as far as from the tackle position.
Mm-hmm.
And you got
What?
Tyron Smith, who's
Too
33 years
old.
old. Yeah, he's too old. Like, you've got Dwayne Brown out there, too old.
Too old.
A Corafor from Pittsburgh was getting paid $9 million a year to stink. He just sucked, and he was not good. And
How old?
you've got Trenton Brown from
No,
New
how
England.
old is
He's third. A Corafor, he's
yeah.
26.
Now, see, now that's somebody who has not necessarily playing out far as his contract, but if he's getting paid by somebody else, that's the person you bring in for a cup of coffee saying, hey, you got your money. You had some type of talent. Now I gotta bring you over here to Forrester and say, hey, on a cheap deal, similar to how even Feliciano, what's his name? John
Feliciano.
Feliciano was.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job. You know what I'm saying? Was he perfect? No, but for a straggler that we got at the end of the offseason, I thought he played well. And so he can be a depth piece. Like, hey man, you come in here, work hard, show that whatever it is that you put on film was a fluke. You can be on a possible Super Bowl roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not paying you $9 million. But the team they can pay you that much money, but
No,
I'm not doing it.
9 million. Like, because he did not play. He was PFF said he was. They gave him a 60 as a
Oh, Jesus
grade,
Christ.
and then he was 400, or he was. Oh, he was injured a lot. Like, he was
Okay.
tied for 20th in penalties. Tied for. Oh well, he only gave up 2 sacks, but I think he missed a bunch of games. Like, but
Peace out,
the
Kels.
but the guy that I'm looking at is what's his name? Jonah Williams from Cincinnati. He goes
Uh-huh.
unrestricted free agent. It looks like this is going to be his first big deal. It looks like his market value right now is like 10 mil. Do you pay a guy 10 mil for your right tackle spot? Or do you try to go draft? Because that's the going rate, I feel like, if you're going to get somebody of any worth over there. Otherwise, you might as well leave McKivitz over there.
And that might happen. Because again,
Yeah, it
10
might happen.
million, that's not the money that we have, man. We don't
That's
have
what I'm
10
saying.
million.
It
Like,
might have to.
again,
It has to go. I think they have to go in the draft. I
you
think
got to
they
go in
have.
the draft
Yeah,
and somebody who could be, again, like I say, you
but
need to get a journeyman.
even if they get a guy in the draft, they're gonna be paying him over 10 mil. Yeah, because they're
That's
probably
a
going to
first
draft
rounder
him.
though, right?
Yeah, if they draft a first rounder, he getting more than 10 mil. Like, so I just, yeah, like, but I feel like that is cost controlled for the foreseeable future, and it gives you control. So I feel like you have to go that route rather than pay somebody and then you're stuck, like you say, or like we said earlier, kicking the can down the road and keep restructuring just to and yeah, it ends up being a bad situation for you. I'd much rather draft somebody and then keep them cost controlled. And this is a very very good draft for offensive linemen. It's very deep, like all the way into the fifth, sixth round from what I'm seeing, and
Uh-huh.
there's some solid guys. So, but especially in the first round, I'm looking at a guy, Tyler Guyton, right now. Uh, there's another guy, Jordan. Jordan from like he's from Arizona, and I can't think of his last name right now. But Tyler Guyton, I really think is the guy that's gonna. I don't think that Jordan guy from Arizona is gonna fall all the way to them. He's on the edge in all the mocks right now. But after this combine, the stock's gonna go up. And Tyler Guyton's stock might go up, to be honest. But I think that there's so many offensive linemen that even if his stock does go up, there are only so many of them going to get picked. So it's I think that tackle is the way to go in the draft, and in the draft as well as interior offensive line. They got some guys in the second, third rounds that I'm seeing that even if they make it into the second round, I think the 49ers they could fall to the 49ers. Christian Haynes is a guy that I'm looking at right now that is really, I mean, he would definitely be an upgrade to what we have right now. They've got to learn the system, of course. And Kyle don't like playing rookies, but yeah, I'm interested to see what they end up doing. I'm gonna have a whole show breaking down the what they've got in the draft, but yeah, so you think that which way do you think they go? Do you think they go draft or they go free agency?
Well, I think they go hear the clamoring of all of us fans. After what, year number 4 now, that we've all been like, hey guys, we need somebody on the line. We need someone on the line. You found your quarterback. You need to protect them. You know what I'm saying? He has the ability to process and throw the ball to where you want him to throw it in. I mean, throw him into the spaces that you want him to throw it in, but he
Mm-hmm.
can't do it all the time in the cluttered pocket. We got to start helping him out, especially if you want him to grow into the quarterback that you see him growing into, far as being able to have a second or two to shift to that third read, or to step up and fully get his body into the throw, because he doesn't have the strongest arm. So he got to use his lower body, and his feet has to be set properly. And so I definitely believe you got to go into the draft, man, and pick up a person or two and build that way to make sure you get a guy that you like, who has the physical capabilities, and who you can possibly say, hey, I'm going to draft you, but then I'm going to send you down there to Texas with Trent Williams, similar like I did with Aaron Banks. But I just can't have you sitting down there in red shirt for a year. I'm going to need you
Yeah.
to get back up here, and I'm going to need you on that line
Yeah.
this year.
Jordan
Not
Morgan
next
was
year,
his name.
but
Like
this year.
for out of Arizona, like keep an eye on that name. Whether he falls, rises, I have a feeling he's gonna rise up. Like super athletic. But I agree with you. I think that they're gonna go draft. But every single season, what happens? I didn't think they could afford Hargrave, and and here they come. Now he's got this super high cap hit, and and honestly, they probably shouldn't have. They probably shouldn't have done it. Now, if they had won, we would all been saying absolutely they should have done it. Just to get, but when you don't win, we have to look back in hindsight and say, that probably wasn't the best of ideas. And I think that's the way we're going to look at a couple of these deals that they did this over this last season, pushing, like we said, kicking the can down the road. But the what are your main holes? What are your main holes for them in free agency? We talked about the offensive line. Any other main holes?
Um, We know we need an edge again. We need tackle again. Because I believe if you pull up our free agents, our defense has a lot of holes in it too as well.
Mm-hmm.
We got to realize last year, guys, we picked up Randy Gregory, Chase Young, and the other guy, Sebastian. That's 3 guys already. You know what I mean, that we picked up. And then Colin was a new guy as well. So that's 4. And so for a team that used to run a 10 to 12 rotation, like just having those guys ready on standby to go out there and play, to have that many guys not in camp, not going through OTAs,
Mm-hmm.
not going through training camp, is not good. You know what I mean? So definitely got to go get somebody on the defensive line. We have Hufunga coming back, Jair Brown. We might want to, I'm gonna say a linebacker too. I say get
Yeah,
another linebacker.
Gibson's probably going to retire.
Yeah, you
Everybody.
got Gibson, but I'm thinking about youth. I think Fred been playing good for a long time, but we got the injury to Dre Greenlaw, so you're going to need some help in that position as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
I
And they
definitely
do
believe we
have
got
the
to
guys they drafted last year. Like they have what's his name?
Winters,
Winters, and who they do like, and Jaden
Graham,
yeah, Jalen Graham.
Jane Graham. Now,
Like so like both of those guys they really like. So I think that they're good at linebacker per se, but who's to say that they don't pick up another linebacker? They love themselves some linebackers.
exactly, especially while you still have Fred Warner who can continue to teach these guys the position, but at the same time, I know y'all might not want to hear this, but Fred been playing for a long time and he's been healthy for a long time. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot just rely on that. I'm not trying to be the bearer, but I'm just the bearer of like trying to bring negative energy. But I got to be realistic with you guys. We got to make sure that we have support.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
And I
We got to
mean,
make sure we have support.
you just mentioned it. Like so, Randy Gregory, free agent. Chase Young, free agent. Javon Kinlaw, free agent. Sebastian Joseph Day, free agent. Orrin Burks, free agent. Cleveland Farrell, free agent. Kevin Givens, free agent. Uh, who else? Anybody else? Like, no, that's it on the defensive line. Like,
That's a lot.
that's a lot. That's an entire offensive line in a rotation. So it's there's a lot of guys that they've got to bring in, and what the 49ers do, and it drives the fans crazy, is they go and get guys out on the cheap. Cleveland Farrell probably gonna come back. Like Randy Gregory, I expect them to bring him back. I think Chase Young is done. Like I don't think he comes back. I know that people think that they want to bring him back, and but his market value right now, Spotrac says his market value is 13 million a year. Not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. I like yeah. Sorry if you had any thought process of Chase Young might be coming back. I don't think he comes back. And but Javon Kinlaw, always a possibility. Um, just because I don't know that he did enough. As much as we feel like he played better than he had been and he had stayed healthy this season, I don't know that he did enough to warrant any team giving him big money. So I think Javon Kinlaw might be back, and I think Orrin Burks is back as well. Kevin Givens, I think, is back. Who else was Sebastian Joseph Day? I don't think he comes back. He might. He was only making 2.7 million, so he might come back. T.Y. McGill, he gonna be back, but I think that they're
We
gonna
got
probably
Khalil
draft.
Davis too, right? Khalil
Yeah, Kalia
Davis
Davis is
probably
under
still there.
contract, so he'll be back.
Drake Jackson should be
Drake
coming.
Jackson will be coming back.
So, but again, like some of these guys, unfortunately, are coming back. It's coming back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is when you need those young guys like a Khalil Davis, like a Drake Jackson. Like those are the pieces that we needed this year.
Yeah,
It was unfortunately Robert Beal. Like those guys have to play. We saw Super Bowl
Austin Bryant.
champions. Look, Super Bowl champions. The Kansas City Chiefs play a lot of rookies last
They
year.
always do. They always do. They bring in their guy. They bring in guys in the draft and they play them.
And they might not look good beginning of the year, which is
Mhm.
understandable. You got to do what? You got to get reps. But a year like this, when the NFC or the NFC West was sorry, this is when you get those young guys playing time. This is when you say, hey, we them dogs. We ain't worrying about the Rams. We ain't
Yeah.
worrying about the Arizona. We ain't worrying about Seattle. Like, we got several games ahead of these individuals. Get in there and get some playing time. Get in there and get some meaningful playing time. As they like to say, you need time on task. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get those young fellas some time on task, because there's nothing in OTAs and training camp that can resemble the simulation of what? Real time play, real time officials. Those guys got to get comfortable, and you got to get them guys out there, put them in the position not only to play, but then also put them in a position to get confidence. They got to get confidence in their ability to know what I was drafted in the National Football League for a reason. You know what I mean? But that's just part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What up, Daytona? And yeah, he will be. I mean, as long as he's making the money, like
Yeah,
it
that's
is what
fine.
it is.
So
But
look, while he here, now we gotta just adjust. We gotta find out ways. Hey guys, how can we get better?
exactly. And I think that I think that I'm hoping that they can turn around their fortunes as far as their earlier round selections. We're back to having first round picks. We're back to having second round picks. like it's so I expect for us to take advantage of those. The last good first round pick we had was Brandon Aiyuk. Like, I mean, real talk. And so and probably the last good second round pick we had was probably Debo Samuel. Like that can't happen. We can't go this many years. So but yeah, appreciate you, Randy, for coming through. But uh, did we talk about Juice? Like the
Oh yeah, somebody asked. Yeah,
yeah, do y'all
Ryan asked that
think he'll be
question
cut?
alongside somebody else.
Uh, I I don't think he's gonna get cut. I think I could totally see them. Um, it might be he might get cut and they just bring him back for a cheaper rate, or he just agrees to take a pay cut. Like it could be because I think he wants to retire here. He
Man,
got for a fullback, he got paid way more than probably any fullback ever. So I don't know how you feel about it.
hey, it's a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, I'm country now. His old lady just signed the deal
She making
with
more
the
money than he is.
with the Shield. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we know one thing that we know right now with the Swifties taking over. Hey Swifties, how y'all doing? What's up? With the Swifties taking over, meaning bringing a lot of young ladies' eyes to football right now. Fashion and football, hey, that's a nice pair.
Mm-hmm.
And to have her still in the Bay with a team like the 49ers who are prominent, who people have adjusted their eyes to know where she is, to know the colors that she has worn and the things that she's done. You keep her on your staff, well, you keep him on the staff for PR.
Yes.
You keep, I'm just saying, like, it's a business. Hey, we just sold all these jerseys. In the year, we had everybody coming out of the woodwork buying these things. She's becoming well renowned and things of that nature. Hey, look, Juice, come on over here, man. We love what you're doing. We love what you do in the community, man. The money that you may have made, we can filter with promoting your wife's business to kind of keep her up and running. You know what I'm saying? Like, those deals go on behind closed doors. And so that's the only how I kind of can see Kyle Juszczyk coming back, because his age kind of deters him from getting big money like he once have gotten because of his age, So bring him back for a cup of coffee and tell him, man, you got to take a discount because we paid you handsomely and you didn't have to go out there and get a lot of touches and carries.
And honestly, no fullback is making that type of money. No fullback.
Yeah.
Ever. So, well, maybe Mike Allstott. I don't know how much to make Mike Allstott. Probably not because they weren't getting paid as much then. Like,
For sure.
so
Peyton Hillis, baby. Let me quit playing.
was he a fullback? Was he?
He was supposed to be a fullback.
He probably should have been. He probably should have been. His career would have lasted longer. Like, but
that's that Madden cover, boy. He got on that Madden cover
and just disappeared, like just ghosted. Like, but hey, Twin, I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna get out of here
for sure.
But one more time, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on the socials? And remember, hey, make sure you give the video a like. Make sure you give it a subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you get the notifications. Make sure you give my guy Twin a follow to all the places where he's about to tell you.
For sure, man. So again, Twin Empire, man. He had it. Well, it's going to be right here at the end of the show, man.
Okay.
Right here, it's going to say Twin Empire, compound word with an underscore right behind it. It's on both of my social media platforms, as far as YouTube and also Twitter, aka the X app, man. Y'all make sure y'all give me a follow, subscribe. I think I'm about 17 followers away from 700. I'm gonna be like the 700 Club, man. Y'all remember that show on TBN back in the day?
Praise him.
I need y'all to hit me up and know. Make sure y'all share the content. Tell a friend, even a foe, as my boy like to say. Go ahead and subscribe, man. I'm gonna put up the 700 Club as my thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? And that's my gift once I make it. So this is my promotion, my guys. Listen here. Make sure your boy gets 17 subscribers, man, in the next day or two. And I definitely would be happy and appreciative. But y'all make sure y'all follow me on those social media outlets, man. And yeah, also I probably would be starting to mix in some basketball content, mainly because I need something to do and to kind of keep me occupied. And so make sure y'all still follow me in that area as well. So appreciate you guys. And again, thank you, Pete, for having me on, man. I definitely appreciate each and every last one of you guys.
Yeah, always a pleasure. And like Twin said, appreciate everybody coming on today. Daytona, like, I mean, it's too many of y'all. It's too many of y'all. Like, you did a great job in the chat today, bringing all the energy, Terror Dome, everybody. Like, so I appreciate you, everybody coming through. Yeah, McNiner, all of them. Like, so yeah, make sure you just know that you got this show goes on YouTube. We are on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I am anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. I'm about to go on to Instagram as well as soon as I have the time to put that together. And
I need to do that. I don't know how to do it, but I'll do it.
It's supposed to be super easy now. I just haven't had the time to go through and just knock it out. Like, but watch out for me on there as well. But I don't care how you get it, just get it. And remember to tell a friend so we can be friends every day, every week. We gonna be here.
And we can do this every weekend. You gotta say that part too. I know what. I remember that song.
Is that all right with you? Yeah. Keep banging. Yeah. But yeah, it's just tell a friend. Like because we're gonna be here all season, off season long. And we're going to be giving you this we're going to shove this 49er content down your throat. Pause. Like, so it is what it is.
Season, man. Shout out to J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? It's the off season, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But appreciate y'all coming out. I will be back probably either Thursday or Friday. I haven't decided yet, but keep on the lookout for that.
And just so y'all in the chat know, not only is the beard is real, you know, I'm a colored individual. And look at that thing. Look, you can take a comb and go through that thing too as well, just so y'all know, you know, the little promo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
ain't got nothing to BDBs out here. You know, like Mario used to tell Gina, not Gina, but Pam. He be like, Pam, you got all them BDBs back there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know the beard line coming this summer. You know what I'm saying? We got this thing cooking up in the back like Joey Crack back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So just know, you know what I mean? Go ahead and be able to hit your boy up and get some of this wonderful cream. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So y'all get ready. You know, we're finna get this thing cracking one way or another, baby. You know?
Absolutely. But until next time, as always, go Niners.
Bang, bang.